Fala galera do canal, me chamo Juliano. No vídeo de hoje teremos uma notícia extremamente recente, extremamente forte. O presidente Trump em seu Twitter digitou que taxará os países BRICS em 100% caso eles tentem criar uma nova moeda ou então continuem nessa busca de desdolarizar. É um vídeo extremamente recente, são matérias extremamente recentes, discussões extremamente recentes. Então deixe seu like, inscreva-se no nosso canal para ajudar na divulgação e valeu!
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has warned BRICS member countries over attempts to undercut the U.S. dollar. Trump threatened to impose a 100% tariff on the BRICS group nations if they did not commit to not creating a new currency or supporting another currency that will replace the United States dollar. The statement comes after a BRICS summit held last month in Kazan, Russia, where the countries discussed boosting non-dollar transactions and strengthening local currencies. Trump issued the 100% tariff warning in his latest post on social media platform Truth Social, adding that if BRICS do not make the commitment, they should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful U.S. economy. Trump has vowed to pursue a protectionist agenda, threatening hefty tariffs on neighbors and rivals. Trump said there was no chance that BRICS will replace the U.S. dollar in international trade, adding that any country that tries should wave goodbye to America. He further said they can go find another.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has threatened to increase 100% import tariffs on all goods from BRICS member countries if the bloc moves ahead with plans to introduce a new BRICS currency. In a tweet that he posted a few hours ago, Trump says the idea that BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. Trump goes on to say that his administration will require a commitment from BRICS countries that they will not create a BRICS currency. Trump added that any country that tries to create a new currency should wave goodbye to America. The idea of a BRICS currency has been making the rounds for more than a decade, with BRICS countries, including South Africa, Brazil, as well as China and Russia, suggesting a new reserve currency would improve trade and investment among the countries. But the experts say a new BRICS currency would be used as a means to bypass U.S. sanctions on BRICS member countries such as Russia. If Trump goes ahead with the this particular threat, it would impact on the trade between BRICS countries. The U.S. is South Africa's second biggest trading partner after China, with exports of cars, agricultural produce, as well as minerals accounting for the bulk of goods sold to the U.S. Let's now speak to Victor Homoswana, who is Marketing and Communications Executive at the University of Limpopo and an expert, of course, on business on the continent, on the African continent. Victor, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. Does this threat and tweet from Donald Trump, the president-elect of the U.S., come as a surprise at all?
Good day. From Trump, no, Aldrin. Trump can't surprise me any longer, and I don't think anybody should be surprised. But there are two sides to this, if I may say. One is that bigotry and superiority complex should really be treated as a disease, Aldrin, because if you are the American president and you've been used to the world where America is the superpower, you cannot fathom a world in which America is not the superpower. But any smart observer of the trends in the world would have seen for the past 25 to 50 years that the power has been shifting from the West to the East. And everybody knows that America is the largest economy now, but won't be for much longer. China will be. And everybody should understand that BRICS will now replace G7 as the most influential bloc in the world. Now, for him to go out and show that level of ignorance, that people who are just being realistic about the realities of the new economic world order are being anti-America, is an indication of how shallow he is. But on the other hand, it's understanding that he should be protecting American interests, of course, because if you replace the dollar as the trading currency of the world, you are taking a lot of power from the United States. And I don't think any American president would be happy about that. The pity is that Trump is being Trump. He's using the swashbuckling approach, threatening everybody instead of negotiating to keep America in the game.
Yeah, do you think that that could at all influence the discussions? For instance, Vladimir Putin was clear that, listen, we don't want another currency. However, though, we are forced into a situation where we have to have these conversations of another currency. But there is no currency that is on the table currently as we're having this conversation. Does this tweet from Trump at all influence what conversations will be had going forward?
No, and they wouldn't, because it's true. President Putin is right. It's not as if there is a currency that anybody can switch to. But what the BRICS countries are saying, and it's a fair request, is that they would like to trade in their own currency. Let me explain this. If you are trading with Nigeria, Nigeria uses Naira as a currency. Or let's talk about Ethiopia, which uses birr. Birr is the currency. You are South African, you use the rand. But you have to find dollars to pay your bills to Ethiopia. That's what the BRICS countries are saying doesn't make sense. And it shouldn't make sense to anybody. Because every time you translate your currency into another, Aldrin, you either get a translation loss or a translation gain, depending on which is weaker. But there are costs, there are bank transaction fees, there are all kinds of advisory fees that go into this, and you end up paying a whole lot more just to pay somebody in Ethiopia when they shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the case. The essence of making these BRICS countries to be able to trade in their own currencies is so that they don't unnecessarily incur the costs of trading in a foreign currency. Rather, let negotiations be between South Africa and Ethiopia about how to translate rand to birr and vice versa. Not translate the rand to the dollar and then the dollar to birr, because that's what's going to happen. So America is just benefiting and is managing to keep itself as the standard, the gold standard of the world, unfairly, even in matters that don't concern it.
Então, essa é uma discussão bastante forte que vai se permear por muito tempo, porém eu vou dar minha opinião pessoal. Eu não tenho tantas coisas contra os Estados Unidos assim, pelo contrário, uma das minhas maiores vontades é conhecer Nova York, porque foram lá que minhas séries preferidas foram retratadas, meus filmes favoritos se passaram por lá, então eu tenho esse sonho de conhecer Nova York, porém eu acho essa mania dos Estados Unidos extremamente chata e soberba de querer mandar na vida de todo mundo, de achar que dita as regras, que todo mundo precisa baixar a cabeça para eles. Eu sei que o Trump está fazendo isso porque ele acha que será benéfico para os americanos. E eu, como brasileiro, eu espero que o Brasil faça o que ele acha que é melhor para os brasileiros. Se o Brasil, de modo geral, acha que criar uma moeda em comum com os BRICS será benéfico para o Brasil e para os brasileiros, que criem. E que se os Estados Unidos se achar no direito de taxar, que taxe. Eu sei que trará impactos no Brasil, porém é inegável que também trará impactos para os próprios americanos, para os Estados Unidos de modo geral. Porque vai dizer que uma taxação de 100% em cima de produtos brasileiros que eles compram de forma extremamente barata e produtos de excelente qualidade, não vai trazer impactos por lá. Ou então taxar em 100% os produtos chineses, alta tecnologia, mão de obra barata, vai dizer que não vai trazer impactos também na vida dos americanos. Claro que vai trazer. Então que aconteça esse cabo de guerra, e é isso. Eu só espero que isso tudo se acalme um pouco, mas que essa mania dos Estados Unidos de achar que pode mandar na vida de todo mundo, eu acho uma coisa extremamente chata e soberba da parte deles. Mas o vídeo foi esse, eu espero que tenham gostado, deixe seu like, comente o que vocês acham sobre isso tudo e valeu!